All right, Jen, I don't know.
I'd like to reconvene the Washington Unified School District regular Board of Education meeting for May 14th, 2015. I'd like to ask Mr. Fernando Luna to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Fernando?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to go ahead and go into item H, communications and celebrations. Dr. Peach?
Thank you, President Cruz. We do have some celebrations this evening. We would like to call Miss Sadiqa Yusufi up with her students who have won some medals in the Skills USA competition. Sadiqa? While they're coming, I'll just tell you briefly, Skills USA is a partnership of students, teachers, and industry working together to ensure America has a skilled workforce. And we have some students who've won medals in that competition this evening. Ms. Yusufi?
Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Sadiqa Yusufi, and I'm the lead teacher for the Engineering and Science Academy at River City High School. And in front of you, we have Frankie Cornejo, who was the silver medalist for the state, and he was the gold medalist at the region. And we also have Calvin Chang. He's the bronze medalist at the state. And then we have Estefano and Sebastian. Sebastian came number 4 at the state, and Estefano came 6th. And our gold medalist is not here today because his grandma was here, and he had to do something with his grandma, so I apologize for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We also have a celebration. We'd like to recognize and congratulate Ms. Jennifer McAllister. Ms. McAllister, there you are. Come on up. We have Ms. McAllister and her ACE mentoring group for the Best Design of the Year award. It's an architectural design for potential use in the design of the new wing at the high school. Ms. McAllister.
Thank you so much for recognizing us for receiving our best model at the region best competition. Tonight we have with us Sebastian and Hunter and Ani and Estefano and Calvin, and then we also have our mentors. Yay, okay. So Mr. Price and Mr. Myers, and I can't remember Fantasia's last name. Fantasia, okay, and then Kelly's in the back there. So this is the project this year was to design a building on our campus, and the kids wanted it to be CTE, and they had to design a part of the model, which was the acoustical model, and because our floors make lots of noise and it reverberates. So they designed the acoustical model, so that's what they're, yeah, you guys want to say anything? All right, we're good.
I believe we have other recognition and celebration this evening. I know we have a little bit more on that later, but at this time, we'd like to recognize and celebrate Wednesday, May 13th, as California Day of the Teacher. And again, I think we have a little bit more on that later. And also to recognize and celebrate May 17th through 23rd as Classified Employee Week. So both of those are well-earned celebrations.
Thank you. At this time, I'll go ahead and take the announcement of action taken in closed session. Item number 1, the Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators, WTA, CSEA, and management. Superintendent Gillian, Assistant Superintendent Landsberg, and Assistant Superintendent Peachin were in attendance, and information was received. We have Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Appointment Superintendent. Information was received, and at this time, I would like to see if I can get a motion from the board to move action item N9 up here to communications and celebrations.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This is a happy day for us. The board has gone through a long process, and I have an outline here. I have no public comments on this matter. So I have a scenario on the process that the board went through on a selection of our new superintendent. On February 12th, 2015, the Board of Trustees of the Washington Unified School District approved the COSCA Group as consultants to assist the district in the process of selecting a new superintendent. The COSCA Group prepared a schedule for the superintendent search, which was posted on the district's website. The consultants, Dr. Donald Remley and Dr. General Davey, met with a total of 23 groups and/or individuals who were representative of the West Sacramento community and the Washington Unified School District. The groups included students, parents, district employees, parent support groups, school business leaders, representatives of cultural and racial groups, city officials and employees, representatives of the Sacramento City Community College District, and Yolo County Superintendent of Schools. 3 open forums were scheduled on 2 separate evenings. Translators in Spanish and Russian languages were present during two of those forums. In total, the consultants listened to more than 26 hours of comments from the 140 representatives of the West Sacramento and Washington Unified School District community. They shared their thoughts concerning the district's strengths and critical issues, as well as the characteristics desired in the new superintendent. The large stakeholder groups who met with the consultants included the following representatives from each group. We had students, parents, classified unit members, employees, certificated unit members and employees, confidential employees, school administrators, district-level administrators, business leaders in West Sacramento community, city officials and employees, district support group members, and Yolo County Schools and Sacramento City College. Written surveys were received from individuals who identified themselves as one of the following groups: students, parents, concerned citizens, teachers and parents, and certificated staff member. The Board of Trustees reviewed the input provided from all the stakeholders in open session on a special board meeting on Saturday, February 28th. From the input in this report and their own knowledge, the board members developed a listing of the most important strengths of Washington Unified School District and a listing of the most challenging critical issues and needs of the district. After prioritizing the strengths and critical issues and needs, the board agreed upon approximately 8 desired characteristics of the new superintendent. The list of desired characteristics created by the Board of Trustees were treated as the profile of the new superintendent. As such, the desired characteristics were printed in all recruitment documents and were used as the criteria against which all applicants were evaluated during the screening process, interviews, and final selection. The COSCA group initially brought forward 35 applicants for the board to review. Each individual board member reviewed the applications on separate dates at the district office. During the process, a few of the applicants accepted job offers in other districts, removing them from our list. During our regular board meeting on April 23rd in closed session, the board narrowed the 35 down to 6 candidates. And it was really tough because Costco just brought us excellent applicants. The following Saturday, in another special board meeting on April 25th, the board spent all day, 8 to 5, interviewing the candidates in closed session. At the end of that meeting, another tough decision was had. We had to narrow it down to 2 applicants. We held another special board meeting on Monday, April 27th in closed session and held 2 interviews for the remaining 2 candidates. At that meeting, the board selected its final candidate and scheduled its final special board meeting in closed session on Friday, May 1st. It was at that time the board met with groups from the district in which the final candidate was employed. The board spoke with members from Board of Trustees, teaching staff, classified staff, principals, city leaders, parents, confidential district office staff, and cabinet. The board then assigned 2 trustees to negotiate the contract with the new superintendent. And today in closed session, the contract was presented to the whole board. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Dawn Remley and Dr. General Davey. If you can stand, please, so everybody can see you. Thank you. First of all, they spent the last few months putting up with 5 women, so they deserve a hand for that. And secondly, they attracted excellent applicants to our district, so we thank you very much. It was a pleasure working with such professionals to make the transition to a new superintendent, a great experience for us all. Second, I would like to thank all the staff, and especially Angela Hill, if you can see her there, the superintendent secretary. She was here with us the whole way, posting agendas, providing rooms, and even here hours before a relative's wedding. And so lastly, I would like to thank all the stakeholders, the students, teachers, parents, community, and community leaders that assisted us in this process. The board took your comments, suggestions, and input very seriously when selecting our new superintendent. And but for your participation in this process, we would not have been as successful in our selection. So, with that, is there any more board members that have any more comments at that time? Ms. Board Member Lehman?
Oh, I do. I can't wait to talk just a little bit about an additional process that we went through. And that was a process when the board members took a trip, and it was an all-day visit to the school district where our superintendent resided, and we interviewed 26 members of staff on all levels. We interviewed managers, classified staff, board members, teachers, principals. I think there was close to 26 that came through in I don't know how many hours. It was just a continual stream. And it was a continual stream of such positive remarks about what I believe is a remarkable person that we have as our next superintendent. I've worked as an administrator for many years. You know, I've been on the board for approximately 10 years. And I've never been in a process where we had someone that came forward that was literally above reproach. And I kind of feel sorry for her. When you're on that kind of pedestal, it's pretty tough. But unbelievable support. And I just want to hit a few highlights, and then I'll let my other board members, I know they're anxious to share some of the things that they heard that day. But over probably, and I didn't take down every single word, but over 15 times we heard the word vision. We knew that was important to our community, and it was important for the board, but we heard vision over and over and over again. We heard built trust and relationships from principals. We heard visible at large and small events. We heard from principals that all schools were distinguished California schools in that district. Sets the bar high, has an open door policy, strong leadership, shows up, great balance of equity between schools, vision. City leaders said when we needed support, she gave it to us. She built a joint use facility, a youth center that was built on school land with city money. Incredible partnership in their community. City leaders, I was also impressed that the timing of her communications was critical, that she shared letters that went out to parents with city council members. I'd never heard of that before. And it was just such a spirit of collaboration between the district and the city. The camaraderie, raised the bar, always appropriate in every situation. And, you know, I can go on and I can come back to it, but I want to let you all have a chance. I was so impressed. And I just want to say, as a board member, I feel so much passion that it's up to us at this table, and it's up to you all, too, to create the kind of environment that we can assist our superintendent in being a success in this community that she obviously wants to live in, and I don't blame her because her 2 kids are close by. But it is our responsibility to set that bar, to have that vision, to set success in our district. And I don't think we've ever been at a time in Washington Unified where we have the opportunity to do that with such a person as Linda Luna. So thank you.
I'll just echo what Mary said, and both Sarah and I decided, man, when we die, we hope our people talk so highly about us as they did for you, Linda. I was so impressed, and I really appreciate the process. All of us were involved, and everybody had an equal seat at the table, and you really were vetted through a pretty rigorous process, and wow, kudos to you, and you should be really proud of your mom, because she's awesome, and we're so excited to have her here, so thanks.
Those of you that know me know that when we were on this site visit that I was in the back room checking out curriculum, and I was looking at this over here and reading everything on the walls and asking hard questions, and because this is a big weight on our shoulders. This is huge. We're coming and making this decision, 5 of us, for the entire district, and took it very, very seriously. And it felt so good that everything I wrote down, every question I had, everything I was unsure of was answered. And it felt good, and I tried very hard to ask those questions that I know that all of you in the room would be asking as well. And a couple of things that weren't said, just to speak to character, I want to share with everybody, is when there wasn't a music teacher, that Linda Luna stepped in and she did she ran the whole performance for the kids. And so somebody who really is willing to jump in and really focus on the kids and what they're doing, which is so appreciated. Another piece that really stood out to me at every level was that everyone that we spoke to said, she makes us better. And we come in and we get support, and we're supported, and we're helped in our evaluations, and we work together to do great things. And that was important to me to hear from a teacher that said, she made me step out of my comfort zone a little bit and take on some roles that I wouldn't have necessarily done. And that's what we want for all of us. That's what we want as board members too, all of us to grow and get better. And not those gotcha moments, but those moments of really cultivating and supporting and helping everyone grow. And that was very powerful, and I think everybody in this room needs to hear that, because that was one of my favorite pieces to walk away from. Flexible, seeking solutions. Mary touched on so many of the qualities that we heard. Problem-solving conversations, helping everyone grow. People said, I feel like a family, and they're going to miss you. I know they're going to miss you a lot. They feel like a family going to work every day, and they love going to work every day, and you've helped create that place for them. And the last piece, and I'll end, and I'll let my other colleagues speak, and then we can get on with our celebration. You can all shake hands, is I think it's also important to say that your husband barbecues. And so that right away sold us all too. We thought, district barbecue. So we're expecting something out of you too.
Linda, I just want to say, everyone articulated everything that, about you, that I also felt. And the one thing that really stood out in my mind is when everyone said she has an open door policy for everyone. That was very, very impressive to hear. I mean, everyone, classifieds, the certifieds, parents, you have always made time for people to hear what they had to say and share, and that's very important. So I know we all want to welcome you, and I know you're looking for a house. There are a few in my neighborhood, so give me a call. Thank you.
So with that, if I can have a motion to approve the new superintendent's contract?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I have one last, I will be introducing Linda, but she wrote, during our interview process, she wrote us an essay, and so I'm going to share a little bit with you, and then I will introduce her. It's with great pleasure that I share with Washington Unified School District in West Sacramento. The person we selected for our new superintendent comes to us with a proven track record. She has received a California Distinguished School Award in addition to 2 Title I Academic Achievement Awards. She has implemented $60 million for modernization of facilities, increased local revenue through the Education Foundation and Healthcare District. She increased technology access for schools and students and successfully transitioned a district into the 21st century teaching and learning, along with the new Common Core standards. She has served 26 years in the Stockton Unified School District as a classroom teacher, instructional coach, assistant principal, director of curriculum, and assistant superintendent of curriculum. She received her bachelor's in music education at the University of the Pacific and her master's in educational administration at CSU Sacramento. She and her husband of 33 years have 2 children who currently reside in Sacramento. So the Washington Unified School District Board of Education would like you all to join us in welcoming her to West Sacramento, and we are pleased to announce the appointment of Linda Chin Luna as the new superintendent of Washington Unified School District effective July 1st, 2015. Thank you.
Wow. I'm so incredibly humbled to stand here in front of you, and I just want to thank you so much for the very, very kind words. I'll start with good evening, President Cruz, Board of Trustees, district staff, and guests. It is truly my great honor to stand here tonight as your new superintendent. It is so apparent that Washington Unified School District is a very, very special place. A place where students truly do come first. Your celebration of students and all of their accomplishments and their mentors speak to that. A place where dedication and devotion to students are demonstrated each day by the hardworking staff in all of the schools and the school district office. What a great pleasure to meet so many teachers here tonight, so many classified members, and also your cabinet level. It's my great honor. A place where parents can be proud to entrust their children into our schools. A place where the city of West Sacramento proudly can seek their future leaders. I once read, there are few, if any, jobs in which ability alone is sufficient. Needed also are loyalty, sincerity, enthusiasm, and team play. And tonight, I want to assure the Board of Trustees that I am truly excited and sincerely enthusiastic to become a part of the Washington Unified School District team. In meeting our teachers tonight and our classified staff, our district staff, one person cannot do this alone. I stand here as a person who will work alongside all of our team members here in Washington Unified and the Board of Trustees and the community of West Sacramento. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. At this time, I'd like to introduce my lifeline. And so I'm going to introduce my husband of 33 years who's semi-retired after 30 years at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratories. This is Fernando Luna. My son, who works for the Board of Equalization right across the river there, and he's in personnel. This is my son, Alexander. My daughter, Jessica, is studying music education to be a high school music teacher, and she's currently studying at Cosumnes River College. This is my daughter, Jessica. So if you're ever free on Monday night at the Naked Lounge, she's a house bassist and does some great jazz music over there. I'd also like to introduce to you my brother I'm very close to. This is Thomas Chin, who also worked for the state of California, who is also in Sacramento. All of us are incredibly happy to be here tonight and become a part of this wonderful community. Thank you so much for this great honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. And with that, we're going to ask you to join us for some refreshments and meet your future new superintendent. We'll take a 10-minute break. Back into open session. Thank you for the celebration. WTA report. Von Stauffer.
Good evening. See if we can get back into regular business here. I want to personally thank the school board, our respective negotiations teams, and our teachers for working very hard this year and for getting us to a tentative agreement a couple weeks ago. When we met the mediator on that day, he made it very clear that if we were expecting a win-win agreement, then we would have probably already have reached it without his help. And that his goal was to get us to a place where we could agree on something we could live with. And when we left that day, I thought we got to a place with an agreement we could live with. In the intervening couple weeks, I've actually come to believe that I think we did get a win-win. We received lots of feedback from our teachers. They are happy, been very positive. I heard directly from teachers who have turned down job offers from other districts to remain here, and also teachers who feel like finally their concerns are being addressed. And clearly keeping trained, motivated, and strong teachers in our district is a win for the district as well. On another good note, I hope all of you had a chance to look at the May revise today. And it looks like things are going to be very nice for Washington Unified next year. I look forward to that. Part of what the exciting thing will be money that is one-time money is being set aside for implementation of Common Core. So I'm hoping we continue with the efforts that we've started on that in the last couple of years. And I think that is something we need, and I think it's something we'll be able to put to good use. And needless to say, the district's going to be in a strong position to improve services and add programs for kids. Last week, we had representatives from our parent unions here, from CTA, NEA, and also our local service center. And we were lucky enough to visit Westfield on the day when the VAPA program was happening, and we were able to see all of it in action. They were very excited by what they saw. And these same individuals had been and toured the district a few years ago, and they were amazed at the change in just a few years. And were very impressed and very much liked what they saw. They also got to see the plans for the new Bright campus and very much want to be invited to the grand opening to actually see that happening. I know there's lots that the district needs to work on. At the same time, there's lots that the district can be proud of. I want you to know that our teachers are excited about being here and want to do our part and play our role in this process. And we want to make this district great. And at that, but she's just left, I wanted to welcome our new superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you. CSEA, Deborah.
Thank you and good evening. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the new superintendent. She's not here. Looking forward in working with her, and it's very good that we have someone. Also, I would like to state that I was real happy that we are already getting ready for the ACE program, the Appreciating of Classified Employees. It's been really nice to see that for the last 3 years, the district has been being a part of the program, and they're remembering it. It's like it's on their schedule now, and I didn't even have to say anything. I got an email saying that they were all ready to go, and that felt really good. And I'm glad that we're going to continue to do that program. It is a program to help classified and management and everybody work together. So I'm just really glad that we're still doing it. Also, we finished negotiations. We have a tentative agreement. We will be ratifying on Monday, the 18th, and we're hoping that everything worked well with that. We are looking for a yes vote. And I want to just say that for the past few negotiations that we've been having, the tone has been really different. We have really been able to sit down and talk and work the issues and the articles that we had to deal with, and it just began to feel really good. And I'm hoping that we can continue this. It's been very productive on both parts, the district and classified. So I would just like to say that I hope that this is something that we can continue, because classified want to work with the management, the board, teachers. We're here. We want to assist, and we want to be just as productive as any other employee in the district. So with that, I'll just say good evening, and thank you for listening.
We're to public comments. We don't have any public comments, but in an effort to accommodate some of our parents here with young children, I have public comments for N8, which we're going to go ahead and let them speak at public comments so they can get their babies home. Is it Lisa Menses? Amy? That's fine.
Good evening. I'm a parent. I live here in West Sacramento. I have 2 young children. And I got in touch with the school board to ask the school board to pass a resolution in support of SB 277, which is a bill that's being considered in the legislature right now. The bill actually passed the Senate this morning in a 25-10 vote. So we're very excited, and the bill is heading over to the Assembly. This bill deals with school immunizations, and it's co-sponsored by Senator Pan, Senator Pan, who's our state senator, and Assemblyman McCarthy, who's also our local assemblyman here. I'll just say briefly, as a mom, during the most recent measles outbreak that began in December at Disneyland, my daughter was about 11 months old at that time, 10, 11 months old, and I was very concerned about, the possibility of such a serious illness spreading to other parts of California and putting young infants at risk. My daughter did receive her first measles vaccine in February when she was 12 months old, but a lot of moms in the community here in West Sacramento have been very concerned. I think that moment at Disneyland kind of spurred us into action, and I'm now a volunteer with a group called Vaccinate California, which is a grassroots organization of parents from all over the state of California, and we're working to support Senator Pan's bill, SB 277. There is a resolution that is on the agenda, and I hope that you will consider it and approve it and show your support for this important bill that protects all children at California schools. I also wanted to point out just briefly that we do have endorsements from many school districts all over the state. We also have an endorsement from the California School Nurses Association and the California School Board Association, the California School Employees Association, and the California Parent Teacher Association. So those are all relevant endorsements to this body. And we also have the endorsement of the American Academy of Pediatrics, March of Dimes, and California Medical Association, and many other respected medical and child advocacy associations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa?
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Lisa Meneses. I've lived in West Sacramento since 2005. I'm a pediatrician and a mother of 2 little girls, and I'm here tonight to support the resolution 1415-32 to protect the health of the children of our city of West Sacramento. In my years working in pediatrics, I've had the unfortunate experience of seeing children and families unnecessarily suffer from serious but preventable diseases, including meningitis and pertussis. Whereas the number of children who come in experiencing side effects from vaccines are far and few between. I honestly cannot remember the last time I saw a child who came in with a significant medical problem directly linked to a vaccine. As a pediatrician, I write orders for vaccines multiple times a day. But as a mother, it's still never easy to watch my kids get their shots. I would never subject any of my young patients or my own children to something that I knew was capable of causing widespread significant harm. I get my kids vaccinated and ask my patients' parents to do the same because study after study has shown that vaccines not only keep our communities healthy, but they save lives. Claims that vaccines cause significant widespread harm have never been substantiated by sound scientific evidence. I commend any and all efforts by the school board to preserve for our children a safe and healthy school environment where they can learn and thrive. Vaccines not only work, they're safe. Let's continue to do all we can to protect the children of West Sacramento and our state of California. Thank you.
Karen Zanato?
Good evening. My name is Karen Zanato. I'm the mother of a 6-month-old, as well as a first grader at Bridgeway Island. And I think this Senate bill is very important, not only to keep our students safe, as Amy and Lisa both pointed out, but also to keep pregnant teachers and young siblings safe as well if they visit the school, dropping off their siblings at times like that. I know when the measles outbreak occurred, my daughter here was only about 2 months old. I've looked at the personal belief exemption rates at Bridgeway Island, And for the kindergartners that are currently enrolled, the personal belief exemption rate is 5%. Last year, when my daughter entered kindergarten, that year's rate is 8%. Now, that is high enough that it puts the school below the 95% immunity rate that helps keep our community safe and keeps these outbreaks from spreading. I also have a nephew that was diagnosed with leukemia at 18 months old. He had to undergo chemotherapy for 5 years, which completely suppressed his immune system and would have made him extremely sick, if not caused death, if he had come in contact with any of those vaccine-preventable diseases. So he probably would not have been able to go to school in a school such as Bridgeway Island, where the personal belief exemption is so high. Earlier this year, also, there was a positive case of pertussis at Bridgeway Island. I believe it was in February. At the time, my daughter here had only received 1 dose of the DTaP vaccine, so I was concerned about taking her onto campus, which meant I had to drop my first grader off at the curb instead of being able to walk her into the school grounds. I couldn't volunteer in the classroom for fear of my infant catching pertussis. She actually just got her 6-month vaccines this afternoon. So she is fully protected now, but at the time she was not. So I urge you to pass this resolution to support this very important legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Dawn, did you want to talk with the theme or? Okay.
Logan, I just wanted to thank the district for taking the leadership on this. This is really important legislation, and I'm glad we're on board. Thank you.
Thank you. We are to board and superintendent comments. Do we have Ms. Leland, any comments?
Well, are we not commenting on this action item? Are we going to comment it on? at that
Under
time?
actions, yeah, they just
They
needed
just-
to, yeah, they just
Okay.
asked to be
All
pulled
right, so I'll
forward.
save my comments,
Okay.
but I am in support of the bill. And can I pass for now? I
Yes.
was focused on the bill and my comments.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Ms. Alco?
thank you. President Cruz and I had a wonderful opportunity to go to River City High School, and they had a dance performance out there. The teacher, Constance Adams, had this incredible presentation where the students performed and actually choreographed some of the dances out there. So we're really proud. My goddaughter, Frankie, actually, Cornejo was just here receiving, but Cornejo family is very talented, so he was just here receiving an award. She also was one of the performers there, so we have a lot of talented young people, and it just makes us feel very proud, I think, when we saw them out there. And, you know, it was wonderful seeing the different types of dances as well, because it was hip-hop and they had cultural dances. It was just a wonderful display of the diversity we have here in our school district. And then yesterday, I had an opportunity to attend a conference. It's called HOPE. It's called Hispanas Organized for Political Equity. It's an annual conference that they have. They're actually in their 21st year. And it's a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization committed to ensuring political and economic parity for Latinas through leadership, advocacy, and education to benefit all communities and status of women. And the Woodland School District actually had 10 of their students out there at the conference. It was the 3-day conference. It was really empowering for the young women out there. There were like 400, so they got to meet business leaders, political leaders, education people. It was just fabulous. I'm hoping that next year some of our students can also attend. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Kirby Gonzalez?
I wish that my baby was that easygoing. It was nice. Okay. And I too, thank you for coming out and supportive and excited to see on our agenda Now it's on. Okay, thank you. Okay. I would like to share that I visited Tony Brushka's class, his kindergarten class at Riverbank Elementary School. And again, it was one of those just really special places. It's very easy to look a parent in the eye and say, yes, I would absolutely put my child into a kindergarten class in our school district, into every class in our school district. But what a wonderful place. And I got to sit and work with the little penguins, as they're called, in their writing. And the writing that they were doing at the kindergarten level was really powerful. They were using a lot of extra words. They were taking risks in their writing. They weren't just copying things from the board. And it was fabulous. And I really appreciated that. I really appreciated his passion. That's contagious, really, that so many of our teachers, that they have. And it just was a wonderful place to be. And I'll just end with this moment of take out the curriculum and all the great things that were happening to kids in the learning. I said to a little girl, she complimented me, and I said, I love the braid in your hair. Who put your braid in your hair this morning? Thinking for sure she'd say her older sister or her mom. And she said, Mr. Brushka, with a big smile on her face. So you can't make that up. It was a great place to be. I really appreciated Councilmember Joe Hannison does town hall meetings, and he invited me to come with him and do one together, which was really nice, I think, to share with the community some of the great things that are happening in our school district, as well as with the city. And it was a nice time. One thing that came from that I'll share is just for us to be aware of, I didn't know, is that Las Consitas is one of the places that has a computer lab, and they've had to close down their lab for kids after school. So if we can just be aware of, this isn't a district lab, but if we can be aware of what kids can do after school if they need to get computer access, where they could go. I know the library is a resource, so it was something that that was on my radar and that people were concerned about who lived there, what the kids would do who needed that access later. I also wanted to share that we were at the appreciation celebration at the River Cats. Board member Leland was there as well. And so thank you for, sorry, I actually was late because I was running a school district thing. So I came late and I missed Board President Cruz, who was there as well. Sorry. Thank you to everybody who was there and who came out. And it's sort of a model after what Sac County Office of Ed does, where they celebrate their Teachers of the Year with tickets to come out, and so all of our honorees who came had free tickets for themselves and for their family as well. And History Day just happened, State History Day. I've talked about that before here. It's a competition for 4th grade all the way up until 12th grade, and it's kids from all over the state. It's a historical investigation. Think science fair, but for history. And there's a theme, and it takes kids really deep into their learning. And I personally had students who attended this year at the state level, and so as I'm going through the agenda, we don't have a single YOLO school that attends. And so how great would that be to do History Day in our district? And Sacramento County Office of Education has already told me that they would be so happy to partner with Washington Unified. So just to keep it in our ears, if we have teachers who are history teachers, it's a fabulous thing for kids to do. It really empowers them. And they have the opportunity to go to national. Actually, it's one that looks great on their resumes. One other thing that came out of the community was, I know that we've done some things for drought, and I've said it before, but if that could maybe be published on our website, that might be helpful for people, because I've had some in the public say, what is the school district doing? I know that we're on the list when you look at the city of who uses a lot of water. Of course, the district would be on that. So if we could share some of those pieces, it would be fabulous. Okay, thank you.
You gonna swing back around? I need them to report out first because they remind me of what I went to, which I normally forget. I did enjoy the high school spring kind of open house. Thank you for putting that on. I know it was a lot of work and fun a couple of weeks ago. I know I didn't report out that I got to drop by, but that was great, and we really appreciate that, Stan. You just having that open house that night, it was wonderful. And there were 3 of us at the State of the City event, Katie and Sarah, and It was interesting, and I hope that that event, it's exciting, it was packed, it was a sellout, but I hope we're going to hear, with having, you know, some new and different leadership, I think that we're going to hear a lot different conversation next year on how we are perceived and how it gets reported out, what's going on in the schools. I think we have great potential, and it was a wonderful event, but I do think that you can't have a city event without, you know, talking about schools and how important schools are. And so that's something that I'm going to look forward to. I know Angela was there that night, and I'm trying to think, Dawn sat at our table, and we had one other person, but it was a good event. Okay.
Your assistant soup set, they were there?
Oh, you were there too?
No,
Kylie.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't there.
I was an age.
And then I have an appointment to visit the Penguins at 9 o'clock on Monday. So I'm looking really forward to seeing Tony's class, and he's been inviting me. And so we finally made a date on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, so I can't wait. That's it.
I'll be going on the 29th also. He's been great. He's been calling us, making sure we get there, so.
I'm sorry. I remembered a few things too, so, sorry. Senior moments. I just want to say thanks to Scott for getting the bus stop going that we approved at River City High School, so I don't have to see kids sitting on the curb anymore. I know half of us have heart attacks over that, so yay to Yolo County Transportation and the school district for putting that together. And then we have our Disney Build Day, for those of you that haven't signed up yet, the building of a playground at Bright Park on May 31st. We need 400 people to volunteer, and we're close to that number, so hopefully if you were from West Sacramento and you want to sign up, you can get on that list quickly. The other thing we did was ride the route, and board member Cruz actually helped organize that at Rayleigh Field, and Sarah also met us down in Sacramento. I have to say, I'd love to ride a bike much more in West Sacramento than Sacramento. It got a little hairy over there when we got out there, but it was the Ride the Streetcar route, and if those of you that don't know all that's going on, it's a lot, and it will be a big deal if it is so approved. And then the immunization bill, I'm so excited and so looking forward to approving this resolution. So thank you for coming out, and thanks for your support on that.
Thank you. And so as you can hear from the board and myself, we keep quite busy. We're out at all the sites, we're out at events, and so I'd like to share with you some events that I attended. Some of the other board members already touched on them, but the music program showcase hosted by Constant Adams. It was Thursday and Friday. I attended both. I called Angela and said, you got to get here. It was just a beautiful thing. I couldn't believe there was 120 students. I even contacted the teacher and said I wanted to take her belly dancing class. So you got to see, I could not believe that was our music program. So I'm so excited to endorse that and keep things going there. I did go to ride the route with Katie. I said I would go, but I'm not going to ride a bicycle, and I didn't. I watched the bicycles. I had a very important job, so that was nice to see all the bicycles come out, and the interested people that are interested in the route to the streetcar. Norm and I think it was this Tuesday, we met with Freddie Oakley in Woodland, because we have touched a little bit on the single district vote. So we met with her, and it's in the attorney's hands. They're doing some research, so that's plugging along. I want to thank both negotiation teams, WTA, even CSEA, and our negotiation team for being able to ratify a contract. That's exciting. I mean, it was just an overall exciting night for us here at the board to be able to announce a new superintendent and resolve some of these contracts and keep a lot of these good teachers that we do have. I do want to mention, because I know I've plugged it before, but what a fantastic year River City High School sports has had. I don't know if you followed it, but I have a few items here to discuss. Baseball made the playoffs. After 4 years, they finally made the playoffs. They returned back. A couple of our students, the Tri-County Conference, some of our students were honored there. 3 of our own, Austin Jacobs, Ryan Walstead, and Josh Holland. They ended up taking third place, the baseball team. Our girls soccer team won the league title. Our boys and girls swim teams won the championships. Our boys tennis won the league championship. Softball is, I think, second place, or they're playing tonight. Haven't had the update. And track league is running their championships tonight. So what an awesome thing there at the high school. And on top of that, I did get off the website, so if it's not correct, I apologize. But the spring sport grades over there at the high school, we had, for winter athletes, we had 251 students. Overall GPA was 3.2 for all these athletes. The number of students that had 4.0 or higher were 73 of these athletes. The number of athletes between 3.99 and 3.5 were 61, and 3.49 to 3.0 were 48. So there's 182 students that had over 3.0 and played all these sports. So kudos to that program out there at high school. And 72% of the River City High School athletes had 3.0 and above. So it's just really exciting that we can get these athletes out there. They're getting a good education, they're maintaining, and really kudos to those coaches out there for being responsible. And I don't know how many people have kids in sports, but those coaches expect those kids to turn in their grades every week. And they're really strict. You don't make your grades, you can't play. So, you know, it's an overall great program out there. Also, I'd like to thank Katie Villegas and YOLO Children's Alliance for obtaining the grant for the Kaboom for the playground at Bright Park, in which the district owns. And I also wanted to give kudos to LULAC, that they're not here tonight, for really pushing and getting that master plan started and being out there to help.
They were here earlier.
Yeah, they were here earlier.
Can I clarify?
Sure.
Sure. It actually was the Children's Alliance applied 2 years ago for the Westfield, and we didn't get it. So it went to Natomas, and so when Natomas couldn't follow through, it came back to West Sac, and the city of West Sac actually applied. We're just organizing the volunteers.
Oh, okay. Well, I
as
apologize.
a free event for the Children's Alliance. It's not, just to clarify.
Okay.
I didn't want people to think that was.
Okay, well, I know you were instrumental in helping all that at one point, so thank you.
I
for
have
that.
worked on that part for 10 years, so.
And so, and on that same note, we thank Kaboom and Rayleigh's for coming out and helping, and I hope to see you all there. We do have some late public comments. They weren't aware of the blue slip, so we'll get to them. But before that, let's, Ms. Peachin, if you want to go ahead and give your comments.
Thank you, President Cruz. Just to continue the celebration just a bit, I guess it's that time of year and lots of things to celebrate, things coming to fruition. Also, some music celebrations. Our River City Wind Ensemble, Director Tony Marvelli, I believe. That's right, Tony, and choir with Director Linda Chrisman performed at the Golden Empire Music Festival this Saturday, May 2nd. The Wind Ensemble received a unanimous superior, which is the highest score possible. And the choir, their first year with the new director, received a unanimous excellent, which sounds very excellent to me. Wind Ensemble is now eligible to enter a state-level festival next year. And if I have this right, Mr. Marvelli, you received a 1 from every single judge and haven't received a 1 since at least 1985, is that correct? So that's pretty good, I'd say. So that's exciting. And then just lastly, we have included an upcoming events, I believe, for all of the board members. There's so many things going on just to continue all the good news. We know we have Classified Week coming up in the ACE celebrations and a district honor band. I don't know if that made it to your upcoming dates, but May 20th at 7 p.m. There will be a district honor band coming together at River City High School gym for our K-8 schools, and I believe we have a special director, a visiting director for that. And then we have many other celebrations. Our employee recognition next Tuesday evening, May 19th. So many things going on. Kinders to college, senior awards night, May 27th. ROTC Awards, May 28th, and of course, our high school graduations, YOLO and River City. So just wanted to call your attention and the public's attention to those many good things. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to read a small disclaimer because these public comments, they weren't aware of our process. So I just want to let them know that at this time, the members of the public may address the board on topics that are under the jurisdiction of the board and are not on the agenda. Although the board by law may not take action at this meeting, Education Code 3514535, the board may limit the total time for public input on any topic to 20 minutes unless it chooses to waive the item limit for a particular item. Individual speakers may be limited to 3 minutes to comment on any topic. Public comments consisting of individual charges, complaints, or derogatory remarks about any district employee are requested to be submitted in writing to the administration in accordance with the district complaint procedure. And with that, I have, it looks like Cecilia Turner.
Hi, I'm not here to complain. My name is Cecilia Turner, and I have my granddaughter goes to the River City High School, and she's completed all her community service, her classroom. She does sports. Matter of fact, she's at that track meet. That's why she's not here tonight. They made it to their sections, her little track team. But she was short a couple points on her CASI test, and so they're not allowing her to walk. And it's really affected her a lot. And I'm asking that they could consider that policy, that she probably will, she's going to get her diploma, but the fact that she's not going to be able to walk is affecting her. And I think it's for her self-esteem, but she's done really everything she's supposed to do at the school. And I just want you guys to look at that policy and see what you guys can do about that, because there's a few kids that aren't going to be able to walk, and that's that's something that they really look forward to. You know, you have your kids, and that's one thing that, you know, for the graduating and going to college and stuff, you know. It got to the point where she said, well, I don't even want to go back. I'll just go to college. I don't need a diploma. And I'm talking, you know, you got to stay. You got to get your grades together, you know, do everything you need to do, you know, to go to college. But that was just my comment. Okay, thank you.
Yolanda, I can't see the last name, I'm sorry.
Hi, good evening, and I apologize for not knowing the process. But I'm here to speak on the behalf of my daughter, Asia Price, who is also in the same situation as Miss Cecilia. She currently has met all of the requirements in terms of graduating. She has passed all required courses to graduate, which was verified by Mrs. Gorsafi, the counselor. She has had no behavioral issues. She has taken the CASI 5 or 6 times, indicating that indicating her diligence to continue no matter what, not to give up. She has received exceptional reports from teachers and counselors. So that's why I'm here, just to kind of put that out there. And to also, I don't understand the policy. I do to a certain degree, meaning that if a student has behavioral issues, that's one thing, but to loop them in that group with students who have had behavioral issues in terms of them not graduating, and then they're all in this category, it's not okay. And I would like for the board to try to make an exception for this policy, because she's met everything else. And so for her as a mother, I have 4 children, we look forward to this moment. It's important. She's done everything, but and she's 19, to put that out there, so I'm not worried about the diploma. She's going to get that. But to take that special moment from her and from our family, it's heart-wrenching. She has a 90-year-old great-grandmother that has made plans to fly from Tennessee to see this, and now it's not happening. Had I known, I knew about the CASI, that if they didn't pass it, then they wouldn't get a diploma, which I knew that she would eventually get. My concern is I want to see her walk. She has family, like I said, that's coming. I had no idea that this piece was part of the graduation. Also, another reason why I don't understand the policy is because even community colleges, If you're on track to graduate, they will let you walk in the ceremony. However, or with the exception of finishing your classes the next semester. So in the policy, I have 43 minutes or 41 seconds. Washington Unified states a student cannot walk and participate in their ceremony unless they pass the CASI and pass all the high school courses, which Asia has. I feel that this is wrong. As a parent, I have been involved in my daughter's education since she was in kindergarten. I went on field trips. I've been there, so just to be able to not have that, it's terrible. She's cried. We've talked to the principal, we've talked to the counselors, which they've been very, very supportive. They said that they would see what they can do. So I'm here to advocate on her behalf as well as the other parents who could not make it. So for these reasons, I'm asking you guys to please make an exception for these students. She, again, no behavioral issues or just a good student all around.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cynthia Dermenta?
Hi there. Sorry again, we didn't know exactly what we needed to do, but I'm also here for my daughter, Rosalia, who now wants to quit school, wanted to be a doctor, and is not having the motivation to do it now. I just want to see her walk. She's met all the requirements, done all was even leadership in the school, has done all her community service, even goes beyond that and does more volunteers in the girls softball league with Christina in there. I mean, these girls had deserved to walk. We know that they'll get their diploma, but this is something when we held them in our arms when they were babies saying, oh, we're gonna see our baby graduate. And for them not to have it is really sad. They worked hard, and it's just to walk. They don't need the diploma, but they've been with their fellow schoolmates all these years, and how can we take that away from them just to walk? We understand they will get their diploma. She's only missed it by one little point. But if we could let them walk, that would be fantastic for everyone. Everyone deserves to walk when they've done so hard in school. Thank you.
Thank you. Then I have Asia and Rosalia.
Hi. I just wanted to start by saying that it sucks. Like, you know, you do everything that you're asked. You do, and it's like, it sucks when you see, people happy about, like today, everybody's happy about their caps and gowns, and here I am with I make C average. And to see everybody happy, and it broke me down this year. Senior year wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't. And for you guys, for you to take away my walking privileges, like, that's all I want. That's what I go to school for. Like, just to take it.
All we're asking is to walk, and I'm on the honor roll. I get good grades. I show up to school all the time. That's all we want is to walk.
And like, it just sucks. Like my mom said, that's what she wants to see. If I'm making above a 2.0, I don't have bad grades. I don't have behavioral issues to not let me walk in my class. Like, I've been with my class. I've been with these people 7th through 12th grade. And to see people who have behavioral issues, all these people, to walk, and I'm sitting here, I have no behavioral issues, never been suspended, and just watch people who have these issues, and just because I didn't pass a CASI off a couple points that I've been working hard for. Like, this is what I go to school for. That's all we're asking, is just to walk with our class. And our teachers help. They, like my mom said, like counselors, my principal, they can't do anything. I would never want anybody in my position. I don't want the, I look at the juniors and tell them, the ones who didn't pass, you need to pass it. You don't want to be like me. I told my little brother, you know, he has the same issues. Like, you have to pass that CAS. You don't want to be in my position. That's what I'm asking. Like, look at my mom. She just wants to see me walk. It's sad because I probably can't give her that.
And we took in all the classes too. Like last summer, I took the 5-day class and I didn't pass it. I keep taking it, I keep going after school to this class, and I still don't pass it. I missed it by 1 point, but obviously I don't meet the requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item M, the information and discussion items. Presentation of the most recent attendance data.
We have Director of Student and Family Support Services, Jerry Smith, with us this evening, and Kara from SINA to talk about Attention to Attendance program.
I'm just going to put the PowerPoint up for us real quick. Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to give you a short report on the Attention to Attendance program through April, mid-April of this year. Give you some information data-wise, but also information about where we're trying to go with our program long-term. As you can see there, the attendance is through April 17th, and the presentation is this evening. See which one this is? There it is. A real quick reminder, one of the reasons why we went to this 3 years ago, obviously attendance is a huge issue. We look at where the United States stands internationally, 17th overall in reading, 27th in math literacy, and 20th in science. And 75% of the countries that are outperforming us are clearly doing it a lot with just more time committed to learning, as many as 2.5 months to 2 years more over a student's entire educational career. So time on task matters. We have 180 school days in California as a requirement, but by the time you take into the holidays, professional development, early dismissals, parent conferences, class trips, assemblies, testing days, etc., some places you're actually broken down to just 120 days by the time you're done with that. And of course, Common Core, once we're bringing this in, is assuming that everyone's going to be there 100% of the time. So we're working diligently to try to bring those numbers up. Kara's going to give you some information tonight about where we've gone in the last 3 years with them. At the end of the presentation, I'll be making a recommendation that is on your consent agenda item to approve our contract with them again this year. It helps us a great deal with our outreach specialist, not forcing them to have to go through all the data. The data gets calculated out of Aries by A to A for us, and we can go to work on our first level SARTs and then ultimately SARB and DA mediation if that's what we need to do. This is a huge piece to what we're able to do compared to other schools in the county. No other district in the county has SARB and DA mediation every single month like we do to try to work with families and get to them and hopefully give them some help, but on top of that, make sure their kids are going to school. So without further ado, Kara. Kara de Blasio is our coach from A to A. She does a wonderful job. They're great communicators with us. I'm really, it's a real pleasure to work with her.
Thank you very much, board members, for having me here tonight. It was great to be here on a momentous night and get to meet your new superintendent. That was wonderful, so thank you so much for having us here tonight. I want to quickly get through this so that we can go through the data slides and also have discussion, or if you have any questions. You've seen this pyramid before. This is what we consider to be our pyramid of success, pyramid of achievement, and all of these 5 building blocks are in place with our partnership, and this is what we continue to strive to work through and work with when we're working with your staff, and your staff is phenomenal with working with all of this. So just as Jerry mentioned, we've been partners for 3 years, and we're excited to be continuing that partnership here tonight. We want to help you increase learning time and help build better connections between families, students, and their school. And your staff is free to work on the what we call the real work, which is building those communications, building those relationships with families, because they don't have to worry about whether or not those attendance letters are going out. They don't have to worry about pulling the data. We provide it to them. And again, you have everyone united and engaged in a consistent process for notifying parents when their kids are not in school. As of your April 29th print date, we are printing letters, attendance letters weekly for your district, which is a timely notification to parents if there ever was one. We've printed nearly 10,000 pieces of parent communication, truancy notifications, excessive excused absence notifications, emails, and conference notifications. One of the areas where your district really shines in working with the attention to attendance system is in the conferencing aspect. And this is one of the areas that Jerry and I have discussed and also discussed with your intervention manager, increasing focus on for next year. However, your district has addressed, your outreach consultants and your site staff have addressed nearly 85% of the conferences that were eligible for that parent meeting. So you conference off of that second notification of truancy, and out of the 851 students that were eligible for that conference, 719 have been addressed by your staff. And that could mean either in progress, to be scheduled, or conducted, and 78% have been closed within the A2A system by your staff. And again, Jerry may want to say something about focus for next year on increasing those conferences.
And we think we're heading in a real good direction. Our percentage is measurably higher this year, and one of the reasons is because of the decision in our LCAP this year to increase our outreach specialists, and also bringing in the 2 social workers has helped a great deal, even with attendance issues. So I thank you for that, and I think it's starting to really show some real positive movement for us.
Also, your district has provided positive communication to parents, both through leadership and tipping points. So we focus on every single one of your students in the district. We focus on students that are in danger of becoming chronically absent and ensure the parents are aware of how many absences are adding up. And we also provide communication, positive communication to your youngest students. We know how important it is to build those positive attendance behaviors early on, and that's why we have those positive communications that have gone out. So nearly 28,000 parent communication pieces have gone out to your families this year through both A2A and those achievement initiatives. We also just want to make sure that we discuss the types of reports. We provide status reports throughout the year, chronic absentee reports to your district office and also to your sites with student level detail on where their students are as far as their attendance. Lots of in-person training sessions with our intervention manager, communications with our service team, and other types of contact like that. Quickly, just to look at some definitions, an A2A truant is a student that has 3 or more full-day unexcused absences, 18 periods for secondary. An excessively excused student, or EEA as we call it, is a student who has 7 or more full days for excused absences, 42 periods for secondary. A combined absent category are students who are considered either an A2A truant or excessively excused, and chronically absent means 10% of the school year or more. And at this point, I believe 10% of the school year was 14 plus days. Your combined absence rate is 37.1%, which means 2,700 plus students are either an A2A truant or excessively excused. The A2A truancy rate, which are students who have 3 or more full-day unexcused absences, 18 periods for secondary, is 24.3%. Your excessive excused absence rate is 22.1%, and the chronic rate, again, those students who have missed nearly 15 days of school as of April 12th, is 11.4%. And I do have in your packet the actual breakdown by grade of those categories, the truancy, EEA, and chronic, but for time's sake, we are just going through the district average here tonight. Total absence summary, this is the chronic absentee report that's provided to the district 3 times a year. Again, we provide the district level information on how your students are falling as far as their attendance, and each site receives their own report, not only with a summary of all of their students and which attendance buckets they fall into, but also student level detail. So each site and each outreach consultant that works with the sites has the capacity and the capability of pulling down that information and finding out who are the students that are chronically absent? Who are the students that are in danger of being chronically absent? Who are my excellent students that I want to, give a shout out to as well? So at this point in the year, we had 68.6% of students that were falling into the excellent and satisfactory groups, and 31.4% of students that had missed 7.3 days of school and were either considered manageable, chronic, and severely chronic. Positive, again, one of the things that your district performs extremely well at is your save rate, and that is the percentage of students that receive the first type of notification from your district, and obviously we print and mail those letters, and then do not qualify to receive a second. They don't continue on that path towards being an at-risk student and being chronically absent. So you have the highest save rate amongst your 8th graders, which means 74% of 8th graders that received the first notification as of the beginning of school all the way through the middle of April did not continue on to receive a second. And that shows the power of your interventions. It shows the power of your staff and your outreach consultants, because it's about the notifications going out, and it's also the people aspect, the conversations and the follow-up and the culture that's being created. And I would just like to close again with thanking you for having us here tonight. We also are getting ready to do an end-of-year report, which we're happy to come back after the summer and in the fall and present some further information on how we ended the year. And again, we've been working very closely with Jerry's office on what we're planning on for next year, how we're going to increase those face-to-face conversations and continue to build upon the culture you've created.
Thank you, Kara. Once again, you'll see that we're recommending the renewal of the contract again. The $39,000, if you take it for each one of our students in the district, it comes to about $5 per kid that we're spending putting this out, and it's a huge, huge help for us. It allows our outreach specialists to really get out there and get busy instead of having to sit there and calculate material all the time and send the letters out. They're automatically sent out, and it's just a great program, and they're wonderful to work with. So that would be my recommendation when you get to consent tonight, to approve the contract and also the notification to teacher contract that's hooked to that. Are there any questions?
Any questions, comments?
No, I just think it's a wonderful program. It's kind of been wonderful to watch it over the 3-year period from when we instituted it, to see some of the improvements. And if students aren't in class, they're not going to learn. And so this is just a great tool. So I would certainly support it.
Great. Thank you very much.
I just have a quick comment.
Yes.
And that would be, so when I see, for example, chronic rate, 857 students, that is excused and unexcused, correct? These are
Correct.
combined? Okay.
Correct. The total absence summary is excused, unexcused, letter, no letter, does not matter. You were not in class.
Okay.
So it's excused and unexcused. Yeah.
Would it include independent study?
It could. It could, depending on how much percentage of work that they finished, and then that calculates their the attendance rate for them.
Okay.
Based on their percentage. It could indeed include that,
If they're
though.
not doing it.
Right. Some of you that are parents in the district, you may have even received letters for the fact that excessive excused absences. We send one out right after you have 5 even cleared absences, just as a heads up. Got to be at school, got to be at school, because when we get to 10, we actually don't allow even the parents just to say they were sick. We actually need a medical note after even 10 excused absences.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then when you talk about informing families, do you also inform them about independent study if they need to be gone? I saw that there's letters going out saying, don't take the extra vacation days. And of course, we want the kids there. We absolutely want them there. But if they're not there, then we want them to do independent studies.
That's handled at the site level, yes.
Okay, perfect.
The school informs them of the process that they need to, especially, as we know, during our winter vacation, et cetera.
Perfect. And then I guess on our level, we just need to continue to advocate at the state and federal level not to take money away when a child has a doctor's appointment or whatever if they're not there. Wouldn't that be great?
We would sure like that, wouldn't we? It would help, that's for sure.
Because they're getting that.
Scott likes that. Scott likes the sound of that. He's the ADA guy.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think Wilma also
I just have a real quick question. On the conference notifications, I know I've sometimes gotten some feedback from parents. They've never received these conference notifications, and then they get rather upset. When they go home with a child, and you say you also mail them out, do we have a lot of returned mail? Because maybe
In some cases, we do. I'll give you an example of what is happening now. Kids are smart, and we do notifications by mail and also by phone. We had to take a young man to DA mediation last week from the high school, and Dad was really upset that he was getting called by the DA's office to come in for this. And he said, "I've never received a message, not one." And we helped him and got into his phone, and the number from the high school had been blocked, and there were 27 calls missed. And the student had gotten into the phone and learned how to block the numbers. So some of that happens for sure, but well, it's a secret now that Fran at the high school knows that if she's hearing they're not getting information, she asks the parents to bring their phone in. So,
And just one more, and the notifications, they go out in the appropriate languages for the...
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, in all three. Yep.
I just have a quick comment because I'm a product of this program. I think it was last year I received 1 or 2 notices, and I'm proud to say we have not received a notice this year, so it worked.
That worked. Good news.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I want to apologize because I got so excited about the celebrations earlier that I totally forgot to have 2 resolutions read. And one is, we celebrated our teachers yesterday, and cakes went to all the sites, and we did have, one of our special board meetings, we did pass a resolution. So I'm going to have Board Member Kirby Gonzalez read that resolution, please.
Okay, just as exciting. So this is a resolution for California Day of the Teacher. Whereas the foundation of our democracy is contingent on an educated citizenry, and whereas the prosperity of our state and our nation is determined by the success of the next generation, and whereas our students depend on educators to guide them on the path to success, and whereas today's teachers mold the minds and train the workforce of the future, and whereas no other profession touches as many people with such a lasting effect, and whereas good teaching grows in value and pays dividends far beyond the classroom, and whereas California's teachers are among the best educated, most credentialed, and hardest working educators in the country, and whereas the theme of the 33rd Annual California Day of the Teacher is California Teachers, where school innovation begins. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Washington Unified School District hereby recognizes and wishes to honor its teachers and declare Wednesday, May 13th, 2015, as Day of the Teacher.
Thank you. And then we have a CSEA week next week, and we have a resolution.
Okay. And I'll read that resolution. Washington Unified School District, Resolution 1415-28, Classified School Employee Week, May 17th through the 23rd, 2015. Whereas the California State Legislature and the Governor recognize the importance of classified school employees to the educational process by approving legislation in 1986, setting aside the 3rd full week in May of each year as Classified School Employees Week, and whereas the Board of Education joined state government officials in acknowledging the important roles classified school employees play in the Washington Unified School District. And whereas classified employees contribute immeasurably to the health, safety, and well-being of students through their dedication and professionalism in carrying out their many and varied job responsibilities assisting children and young people in the classrooms and through valuable support services. And whereas classified professionals contribute to the establishment and promotion of a positive instructional environment. And whereas the district's academic programs and other educational opportunities could be provided to the students enrolled in our schools without the unfailing support of classified employees. And whereas classified professionals employed by the Washington Unified School District strive for excellence in all areas relative to the educational community. And whereas classified professionals employed in the Washington Unified School Districts are deserving of special recognition for their many contributions in a wide variety of roles to the institution of public education in this country, state, and nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Washington Unified School District hereby recognizes and wishes to honor the contribution of the classified professional to quality education in the state of California and in the Washington Unified School District, and declares the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2015 as Classified School Employees Week in the Washington Unified School District.
Thank you, Mary. We're to action items. Number 1, to approve the tentative agreement between the Washington Teacher Association and the Washington Unified School District.
Thank you, President Cruz. And board members, you've heard a bit this evening about our tentative agreement with the Washington Teachers Association. The district and WTA did complete negotiations for the 2014-15 school year on April 29, 2015. WTA and its members ratified tentative agreements on May 8, 2015. The following areas were negotiated. Just quickly, articles with changes to contract language are Article 5, transfer reassignment, Article 6, evaluation procedures, Article 14, duty hours, Article 15, work year, Article 16, class size, and Articles 17 and 18, compensation and unit member benefits, and we're bringing those for your consideration of approval this evening.
Is there any comments or motions? Comments? Motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the tentative agreement between the Washington Teachers Association and the Washington Unified School District.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 2, AB 1200, disclosure of the WTA salary enhancement for fiscal 2014-2015.
This is the fiscal item that accompanies the ratification of this agreement. It certifies through this process, the AB 1200 process, that the district can afford the tentative agreements. So this is the first one this evening. Presented to you is the 2014-15 disclosure. The fiscal impact certificated salary and benefit increases are $1,403,850, and we're bringing that to you for your consideration this evening.
Any questions or comments? Do I have a motion to approve the AB 1200 disclosure of the WTA salary enhancement 2014-15?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 3, AB 1200 disclosure of the WTA salary enhancement for fiscal year 2015-2016.
So in a similar fashion, this is the AB 1200 disclosure for the 15-16 fiscal pieces of the agreement, and the financial impact on that piece, certificated salary and benefit increases, are $895,667.43. You're testing my mathematical sentence reading there, Mr. Landsberger, but we would ask that you would approve this as well.
Any comments or questions? I have a motion to approve AB 1200 disclosure of the WTA salary enhancement for fiscal year 2015-2016.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4, to adopt resolution number 1415-22 for the Bright Career Technical Education Campus Phase 1 project.
This is one of several items on the agenda coming up that I'm going to turn over to Mr. Landsberger.
Thank you very much. This resolution is brought forward. As you know, we've been working on the Bright CT campus for quite a while. We finally got the program out of DSA not quite 3 weeks ago. And in that process, as you know, we were working through contract negotiations, which failed with our first contractor. We went to a secondary contractor. And in the process of trying to negotiate a contract with them, they asked to be removed from consideration. At that point, we went to a third contractor that we have a history with, Swinnerton Builders, is known to the district as Harbison Mahoney Higgins. otherwise HMH. They did the riverbank conversion for us a couple of years ago. If you recall, it was a fast-paced project that was done over the summer, major modernization of that campus. We asked them to take a look at the DSA-approved plans, plus 2 addendums that had been issued by the architect since the DSA approval was received. They've come back and they've given us a total price for the project of $9.6 million. We've added a $500,000 contingency to the project for a total cost of $10.1 million. When you look at the cost of the project and the resolution in front of you, it is a lease-back, so it's a guaranteed maximum price. Unless there's unforeseen conditions, the price of that contract should not increase. We then looked at the value of this project and tied it into the entire Bright campus, and it's in your write-up that in this first phase, we're going to be completing about 44% of the square footage of the Bright renovation, and we'll be using approximately 51.3% of the allocated funds through Measure V. We also have about $600,000 of roofing funds for that campus as well. So knowing that this particular phase is the most intense phase of the project, being the culinary wing and the MPR and the 2 rooms below it, most of the parking lot work is being done with the exception of the parking lot in the very north. We're very comfortable that the overall cost of the project, when compounded with the second phase, will stay within the cumulative budget of $19 million. So this contract is before you as a board resolution, since it is a lease-back. You'd be approving a site lease, a facility lease, and construction provisions that detail the DSA-approved set of plans.
Is there any questions? Comment? Ms. Kirby-Gonzalez?
In terms of, so I know that this was moved up, the schedule was moved up, so it's a little more fast-paced. What is the effect then of costs for that?
You know, we asked them to give us an estimated cost. We'll break down the final GMP numbers because we have an additional meeting with them tomorrow, but the acceleration cost for this project is estimated at $500,000.
So $500,000 are the additional costs because of fast-pacing?
Yeah, because with the constructed timeframe, yes.
And in the future, we'll have a resolution come back to us so that we'll be able to get that pre-qual language in early and we won't run into
That's
this
correct. Council continues to work on that documentation. We did have email dialogue with them, and I did make a note again tonight to follow up with council to see what progress we're making on your resolution.
Any more questions? Scott, what was the total amount of that again? Did you say 19 million?
No, the total amount of the resolution that's in front of you for phase 1 is 10.1 million.
Okay.
Out of Measure V, the Bright CTE campus had a budget of $19 million.
Oh, okay. Any more questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve, adopt the resolution 1415-22 for the Bright Career Technical Education Campus?
So moved.
Second. This is a resolution, so I need a roll call vote. Board Member Leland?
Aye.
Board Member Alcala?
Aye.
Board Member Villegas?
Aye.
Board Member Kirby-Gonzalez?
Aye.
And I too vote aye. We have item number 5, adopt resolution 1415-29, authorizing the sale of refunding general obligation bonds 2015 for 1999 Series B and 2004 Series B issuance.
You've seen this agenda item a couple of times. We brought it to you in a couple of different forms as just a PowerPoint presentation, and we brought you some sample documents a couple of weeks ago. Lori and Stacy from Government Financial Strategies are in the audience. If you have any questions, this is just the formal document that they discussed with you, plus you have your preliminary official statement that would go to investors when we sell this bond, and I believe we are scheduled for June 18th as our sale date. To note that the Q&R refinance saves the taxpayers of the city of West Sacramento $365,000 versus what they would pay if we did not refinance these bonds. So we obviously recommend it. They're here if you have any questions. If not, we just ask you to pass the resolution authorizing the sale of the refunding bonds.
Any question?
I just have a comment. Thank you so much for the presentation that you did last time. People are definitely excited to hear about savings of money. My recommendation would be for our staff, if we could get that fabulous PowerPoint maybe onto our website with all the bond information, that would be great. And it's a nice resource. I appreciate you putting together that site, Mr. Landsberger, and that would be a good addition for it. Yeah, I agree.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution 1415-29, authorizing the sale of refunding general obligation bonds 2015 for 1999 Series B and 2004 Series B issuance?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
This is a resolution, so I need a roll call vote. Board Member Leland?
Aye.
Board Member Alcala?
Aye.
Board Member Villegas?
Aye.
Board Member Kirby Gonzalez?
Aye.
I too vote aye. Item number 6, to adopt resolution number 1415-30, authorizing the sale of general obligation bonds 2014, Measure V, Series 2015, in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed 24,900, sorry, missed the comma, $24,900,000.
Again, we brought this particular agenda item to you a couple times. As you know, in November, we had very strong support from the public on issuing bonds in the aggregate of close to $49 million. At one point, we had talked about 2 series. On the last presentation, you saw that with the current market conditions and combining this with the refunding bonds, if we do 2 series in 2015 and the series in 2017, the current market conditions are going to give us a little bit more money for projects, which is always beneficial to have more money for projects without increasing the debt to the public. So we bring this in front of you for the first series of the November 2014 Measure V for $24,900,000. It again is expected to sale at the same time the refunding bonds go on sale, which is June 18th.
Any comments? Questions? I have a motion to adopt resolution number 1415-30, authorizing the sale of general obligation bonds 2014, Measure V, Series 2015, in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $24,900,000.
So moved.
Second.
This is a resolution. I need a roll call vote. Board Member Leland?
Aye.
Board Member Alcala?
Aye.
Board Member Villegas?
Aye.
Board Member Kirby Gonzalez?
Aye.
And I too vote aye. Item number 7, to adopt Board Resolution 1415-31 for the classroom furniture procurement. Is that you too, Scott?
It is me. We've been busy the last couple of weeks. In February, we came to you with a concept for some 21st century classroom furniture. We went out, we got some demo classrooms that went to our innovative educators, I believe is the term that we're using. And the feedback that we've gotten, I believe, up to this point has been positive. We are at a point in our construction projects that we need to purchase the classroom furniture for the Bridgeway Island expansion, the Bright CTE program. We also have a need for an additional classroom furniture at Riverbank in the 5th grade. And we have been very diligent and really used our inventory of old furniture over the years to the point where we need stock. If we were to have additional students show up, we would have a problem providing them furniture, because right now it's old, it's surplused out. You've seen it come through surplus. So we put together a program where $47,700 is needed for the Bridgeway Island campus, $64,000 is needed for Bright. It's about $13,000 for Riverbank, and we have a stock program where it's about $16,000, and that's about 2 classrooms worth of inventory that we'll be able to move around if something breaks. We'd like to bring this back to you at a future date in a more expansive manner, because we've talked about obsolescence of furniture, just like we're doing obsolescence with computers and other pieces of equipment. We're going to put together a plan that we'll be able to walk through and start introducing the 21st century classroom furniture, all grade levels, all school sites. But right now, you've got some at River City, and then as new classrooms come online through a construction project as we have here, it makes sense to put the 21st century classroom furniture in play. The board resolution is because the best buy on this furniture is through a piggyback contract. Glendale Unified School District in Southern California has a contract with Campbell Keller, who is a vendor that we purchased the furniture from. This would allow you to buy off of that piggyback contract. It's a legal contracting mechanism. Council has gone through, created the board agenda for you, and they grill us on the different documents. They came back and said, do you have this, do you have that? And we had to provide a whole ton of documentation to council before they would give us a board resolution allowing you to purchase off of this piggyback contract. So our recommendation is to purchase this way. By doing so, we'll be able to come back to you at a future date without a board resolution, but just a purchase requisition showing you when we want to purchase additional furniture off of the same contracting mechanism. And I'll take any questions.
Question?
Just a real quick one. Campbell Keller, is that the company?
Campbell Keller is a vendor of the particular line, and I can't recall the line off the top of my head. They're a local vendor of that particular product line.
Made in California?
I do not know.
Oh, okay.
This is the interesting furniture. I don't know what the word would be for it. It's different puzzle.
Puzzle piece.
It's the boomerang furniture.
There you go. Okay. So here would be my thought to share with folks is just as I'm thinking about equity, when we look at our schools and we just pass a lot of money for our culinary and other programs for CTE. And Bridgeway Island is going to get quite a bit of money, bond money for the new classrooms that we're going to put in there too. So one question might be, if we have innovative educators at Westfield or at Elkhorn, possibly the new classrooms that are going in, maybe those could have that stock, the furniture from other places, and we could move this furniture around a little bit so that another school, if they have innovative educators or somebody that wants it, might feel it, because I don't want the perception to be that, say Bridgeway Island is getting these new classrooms, all this money and this new furniture. So this, just something to think about, and something that when I visited a couple of classrooms recently, and Elkhorn just comes to mind, that might be something that I think we could look into, that I'd prefer, instead of just when there's a brand new classroom, maybe looking at the equity if people want it.
Yep.
It's kind of strange. I don't know if I assume they all want it.
I think
they want
that's
it.
an excellent point, and again, like I said, I think this is where we come back with that obsolescence program where we have, a commitment through a budgeting mechanism where we say we're going to spend X dollars per year on furniture, do an assessment, and then go through it on an annual basis, whether it be 5 classrooms, 10 classrooms, whatever it is, replace that furniture, the oldest in the district, and work through and meet the equity issues that you're discussing, and do it through a managed program versus just when it's coming in. But this is just a timing issue where you have new classrooms coming into play, and we don't have furniture for them, so we need to put something in that makes sense to do the newer furniture.
But you could move the furniture from another classroom. I mean, you could just put them in a truck and move them over, and then it empties it out from one classroom, and you could then put it, say, Elkhorn River, at another school. It's just a matter of shuffling furniture, wouldn't it be?
We could do that. We could look into that if that's the direction of the board.
Well, in this whole, process that we've been through in looking at, for new leadership, one of the comments that was made by, I think it was district staff in the district that Ms. Luna's coming from, and it said that it was really important, to have that equity, and that would be the first thing when we had any of these budget items, and we've been doing that all along, I know that. But it kind of highlighted it to me that we can spread it around in a different way than we're used to doing it, and that we're thinking about these things before we just roll them out because the building's new and the furniture comes, thinking about things differently. So I think that's what I was hearing, and I just think it's something we need to be mindful of.
Anything else? Got what you need, Scott? Understand?
I believe so. I know that if you pass a resolution on purchasing furniture, I think I heard come up with a plan.
Yeah, purchase the furniture.
Yes.
And come up with a plan to fill in the new furniture, if possible, at other sites.
Okay, and I also heard innovative educator?
As a possible avenue.
Okay.
As you look at that.
So we'll have some conversations with staff, and we'll come back and give you some ideas and thoughts on what we can do. And also, I think we can come back with that long-term plan where you're making this ongoing commitment and how we can roll that out over the next several years.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adopt the board resolution number 1415-31 for classroom furniture procurement?
So moved.
Second?
This is a resolution. I need a roll call vote. Board Member Leland?
Yes.
Board Member Alcala?
Aye.
Board Member Villegas?
Aye.
Board Member Kirby Gonzalez?
Aye.
And I too vote aye. Item number 8, to adopt resolution 1415-32 to support childhood immunization. Is this,
I don't have any further comment on that, just an opportunity for the board to consider adopting this resolution.
I believe we probably have comments from the board on this, or?
I just need some clarification. They say that we currently have a school that opts out of this.
It's not a school, there's a way to look at what individual parents do at a school population, for
Okay, so
example.
it's-
And there is different language about how you can opt out that are very different than the original policy. It's really not, I think, based on religious preferences anymore. They've taken that language out of the bill.
And as a caveat, I'll say this hit very close to home because my youngest daughter also was not able to have all of her shots just because she wasn't old enough yet as a baby. And I did wrap her up and go into some classrooms and try to keep her really tight next to me. But it is a concern, and it's especially a concern for infants, but then also for those kids who might be sick and can't get protected, and we would hate for them to not be able to come to school for those reasons. So I think it's a fabulous thing, and I welcome keeping all of our kids safe in school.
I have one comment, sorry. The Yolo County Health Department offers free immunizations for school-aged children, too. So if kids are having a hard time getting in to get the immunizations, parents are having a hard time getting their kids in, the health department can help with that and offers free immunizations. So if there's a need for that, we should hold a shot clinic or whatever we need to, because it's very important.
Well, I think through this bill, I've been educated too about some new terminology that maybe some of the grandparents that are raising kids in our schools or parents haven't heard about. But just the concept of herd immunity is just very important. And if students as long as like 95% of students are vaccinated, you can keep that herd immunity. But when we have more and more parents that opt out, then we lose the herd immunity, and that's really concerning, that we kind of lose that safe bubble. And so I don't really think about it on an everyday basis. My kids are grown, but I was putting a little sticker on my grandson this past weekend, and he started to cry, and I just couldn't imagine why he was crying. I was putting a little cute rabbit sticker on him, and his mother's an RN, and she said, "Oh, he just had his vaccination this week, and he thinks you're going to vaccinate him after you give him the sticker." But it doesn't matter, it really protects our kids. And for that little moment of discomfort, just preventing the most deaths with the lowest cost and the simplest intervention is the way to go. And so I'm really glad this bill came to our attention and that we're able to support it tonight.
I should say my daughter's in a vaccination study where they're looking to combine vaccines. She's in the control, and I had to do a lot of hugs because she had all the shots, but where they're looking to combine so that they won't have to have as many pricks. So that will be nice.
And I could still give you the sticker.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and I appreciate the folks that were here earlier, especially the pediatrician that gave her insight. So With that, I need a motion to adopt the resolution 141.
I'll move. I'm so excited.
Your move?
I'll
Okay,
second.
I won't say it. It's a resolution, so I need a roll call vote. Board Member Leland?
Aye.
Board Member Alcala?
Aye.
Board Member Villegas?
Aye.
Board Members Kirby Gonzalez?
Aye.
And I too vote aye. Item number 9, we moved up earlier on a motion, and we gladly had a vote of 5-0 and welcomed our new superintendent. I have consent items, but I have a public comment. Dawn Stoffer.
Hello again. One of the items on the consent agenda is to hire the consultant to look at transportation, specifically buses and all of that. I just recently was made aware of something. A colleague brought to me a flyer that was given to his daughter. She goes to school in Sac City. And on this flyer was a flyer for a field trip, and on it was the transportation provided by Washington Unified. And given the concern we had about the wear and tear on our buses, I wasn't aware that we were renting out our buses to other districts. And I don't know if that will be part of the study, but I would encourage it to be. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Board governance discussion? Do we have any discussion tonight? I think it's important that we start looking at this, especially since we have our new superintendent coming aboard, so we can all be on the same page. So hopefully in the near future, in the next couple months, we can have maybe a special board meeting or a retreat, if we'd like to call it that. And so we can meet with the new superintendent, and we can all be on board. I really encourage you to look at the self-evaluation that CSBA, the kit that we gave last one, because I really like to do that this year also.
And just talking about a plan for, welcoming the new superintendent in the community and with other higher education institutions and county, whatever, we could talk about, what we want to do. That probably needs to be done sooner than later.
Sure.
Barbecue.
I vote for a barbecue.
Yeah.
The superintendent's husband's supposed to be really good, so.
He said he'd do it already. I heard him.
So we have future board agenda items, and I really like that this is laid out for us with the dates. So we have an anti-bullying update on May 28th, the draft of the LCAP and budget, May 28th, student enrollment update in June, LCAP public hearing, June 11th, budget public hearing, June 11th, the final LCAP, June 28th, and final budget, June 28th. So looks like we're keeping staff busy. Is there anything else that we would like to add?
Last year, one of the high school counselors gave me the statistics for all of the students who were graduating, what colleges they were going to, who was entering the workforce, who was going into the services, and that was so fabulous, and it was nice for the community. So I don't know if it needs to be a piece on here. Maybe it should be, just so it's public, but if we all at least had that information that we can share out, and it was broken down. I know they do it already, and so it's not extra work.
It was the high school principal, and yeah.
I don't
But
know.
I think they used it for somewhat their graduation. They provided that information at graduation, but it'd be nice for us to have it and have it on the website.
Yeah,
'Cause it was really
I was
good
gonna say, I don't know if it should be on the agenda, but on the website, and
Perfect.
then,
That's a good idea. Because it was a breakdown of even every college, which was just fabulous.
and I think they announced that at graduation
Yeah,
as
it was a
well
part
as
of
the
the
scholarship.
speaking-
I think they do it at the
speaking
scholarship thing too.
Yeah, but just for all those people, the real people I feel like sometimes that need to hear it are the ones that aren't there,
Sure,
that wouldn't be
sure.
in that room, so.
Yeah, so if we can get that information.
Publish it in the paper.
and-
I actually think,
There you
truthfully,
go.
I mean, if you look at high school programs, they do list where the kids were accepted or maybe where they're going, and definitely any scholarships that have gone out. But I actually think that would be a great press release for the paper,
That's a good idea.
if the students so wanted it. But I think it would be a good win-win for all of us.
So we'd like the statistics ourselves. We'd like it placed on the website and can't even talk anymore, press release.
And then also for future board agenda items, I know Mr. Landsberger just said that the resolution was being looked into, and so, which we discussed earlier, if we could see that on a future board agenda item along with the MOU that went with that, would be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Scott, how soon do you think we could get that?
I have to check with council, because if I recall, the direction was, it was the board resolution and the MOU with major trades. So that's 4 different groups that are going to have to be negotiated with versus one, which was on the prior agreement. The resolution and the MOU was with one trade, but we heard all major trades. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take him to get all of that together, or if we can bring it through as the particular sub-agreements to the board resolution are made. So I need to talk to council. I don't have a definitive timeframe at this point.
So when you say when you say all major trades, you're saying that there would be apprenticeship programs, then working with all of them?
That's correct. Carpentry,
Direct
mechanical,
entry.
plumbing, and electrical.
But just the wording on the resolution, could we get maybe that sooner?
That could be done sooner,
Yeah.
and work on the stuff. He was under the impression he was bringing together a package, but I'll let him know that it can come in parts and components, and that would be okay.
Resolution would be great first.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
There's a typo on this agenda. It says June 28th, and it's June 25th. It's the second meeting in June, so.
On the final LCAP? That's,
Yeah, our meeting's not on the 28th. It says it both on the final LCAP and final budget. It's actually
25th.
June 25th.
Thank you.
anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.